Because
All right, we're streaming on YouTube, so let's get started. Right, guys, welcome to this special episode today for the Circle of Legends Summit 6. The initiative is beautiful because what we are doing here, that we're bringing together 25,000 families and roughly around 1 lakh people and contribute towards one cause. And the cause is use of technology for the betterment of mankind and humanity. And the same series, we are today doing a session with Sejal Sood. Sejal is our guest today. Welcome to the show, Sejal. And let me tell you about Sejal. Sejal is a brilliant young lady whose achievements started at an early age of 5 when she was acknowledged for her being an all-rounder in the school as a student. She's an entrepreneur, a YouTuber, and an international speaker. And Sejal pitched her first business plan to a venture capitalist at an early age of 15. That quite an early start. And I guess she has done a lot of business plan pitching after that. Sejal, we will start the conversation, but I would really love to have a little introduction from your side as well, a little bit about you, which I don't know.
so when I was in ninth grade, I was looking. Ninth, there's a lot of pressure, like अब 10th होने वाला है, and then उसके बाद which stream are you going to choose? And I was one of
Hmm.
those teenagers who was like, what should I do? What should I do? And I had been like, I want to do something. I want to do something, and I want to do something big. Yet I was not able to find something. Then the thing was, I was introduced to the concept of entrepreneurship. There was this student-run initiative at my school. It was called the Launch
Mm-hmm.
X. So at the LaunchX Club, it was a hand-holding procedure or a DIY for high school students to start a startup. I got introduced to the concept of entrepreneurship, and I found it to be beautiful because you're helping solving a problem, as well as that you're earning profit as an entrepreneur, and you're also you're contributing to the economy. So personally, it was something that resonated with me. And eventually,
Yeah.
as I got to know more about the concept, it was not only about the fame and the money, it was also about helping people and the responsibilities. Because when you are a very successful entrepreneur, you're going to have your employees, and those employees are dependent on you. And the way you carry your brand, the way you carry your company is how you will grow. And those employees are dependent on you. There's a lot of responsibility that comes around. And it made me realize it was somewhere, it was just like, it felt right, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
It
Wow.
felt
Fantastic. And it does. There's a lot of impact which you can create as an entrepreneur, and that's the reality. So, Sejal, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, pitching your own idea is one of the biggest challenges which we face. Any startup, what is that idea which you should select? So, would you like to help us with some insights on that?
Yes. Actually, the thing is, let's flip the question. What is the right problem? Because when you find the right problem, you can ideate, you can evolve your idea around that. Take an example.
Mm-hmm.
Many times we have a product, but we do not know if that product is solving a problem. But if you say, I have insulin that solves the problem of diabetes, insulin is your product, diabetes patients with diabetes are your clients, and there will be an instant sale. So you
Hmm.
need to find the right problem. That would be the right thing. You need to know the size of the problem, the scope of growth in the industry. Because okay, you solved a problem, but then does the problem end over there, or you have scope of growth? Take an example of Amazon. What did Amazon do? Jeff Bezos started with selling books, but then he expanded into so many other business, expanded the business into other sales as well. So you need to see,
Hmm.
does the idea have scope of growth? What is the size, the magnitude of the problem? Do a SWOT analysis, the strength, the weaknesses of your business, the opportunities and the threats you have. If the barriers
Mm-hmm.
of entry in your business are low, many competitors can come in, new players can come in, and they can uproot your roots. But if there is, if it's a deep rooted and there's a there's a fence around the business, and it's slightly difficult to get into, that will ensure that you're going to stay in the race for a longer time. Also know your customer segment. If for example, my customer segment can only afford a product of, let's just say example, 100 rupees, whereas my product is for 500 rupees. Again, there's
Hmm.
going to be a gap. 100 rupees is my customer's price, like the price they can pay, whereas 500 rupees is the thing I'm selling for. Again, there's a gap. So you need to know the pricing and how much your customer can pay. You should know your customer
Hmm.
very well. If you know what the customer wants and you're just building around that. For example, my customer has this problem and this is what my customer wants, and you evolve around it ki, acha, ye nahi to ye nahi to ye. And that is where rapid prototyping as an entrepreneur comes over there. pricing, knowing your customers, SWOT analysis, the political scenario as well. Because if your solution is good, and let's just say the government is against you, take an example of the founder of Alibaba right now, right? Alibaba, Jack Ma, he has been not been seen in media for 2 months, since 2 months. Probably again the political scenario matters, the economic scenario matters. How is the economy going? If your product is probably say a luxurious product and there is probably a cash crunch, would it be sold? So you need to see everything. You need to see the economic scenario, the political scenario, the social scenario. Are people accepting to using this product? Is there a taboo around this product? When you know you do the pest analysis, you do the SWOT analysis, and you know your customer well, I think that will be the right idea. So finding the right problem leads you to the right idea, is what I'll say.
That's a very interesting perspective. Finding the right problem can give you the right. And then so many people ask, what is that idea I should work on? And then there is so much confusion around it. And I really love the way you expressed prototyping, which is trying out things. Now, that's where the whole stigma and you can say taboo is that people don't try out enough. And why? Because trying is associated with failure. When you try out different things, a lot of things would not work. And that's what I really strongly believe, that prototyping is required in everything. You said about in the idea and the problem finding, also in career, in job market. Have you tried enough before you settle down for something? So that's a very amazing insight, Sejal. And Sejal, I also see that you're very active on LinkedIn, and you also share a lot of your thoughts quite often. Now this is a time when social media has suddenly taken a high. It has just broken the ceiling and gone above it since the lockdown. Everybody is available online, and there's so much content, so much data. In that, what is needed is to have your mark. And that's when the whole keyword of personal branding or thought leadership comes across. So, because you keep speaking about it, would you like to throw some light on that?
Actually, yes. So I spoke to my mentor, and my mentor told me, if you want to probably, get into the speaking circle, the public speaking circle, how do you get into it? So the thing he told me was, why don't you start writing a small article, even a small article, probably of 5-10 lines, or probably you can extend further, but start writing every day. Because when you write every day, people might not read the whole article, but they'll say Sejal soup, Sejal soup, Sejal soup. Okay, then there's a brand recognition, like Paytm. So Paytm has this tune. So the tune, or probably some hotels also have a signature fragrance. So when you then that builds a brand recognition. The thing is, with 2020, a lot of businesses were forced to go online. They were Earlier, people used to think we will go online eventually. It's not the time to go online. But then 2020
Yeah.
happened. 2020 happened.
Yeah.
People had to quickly, reinvent the brand, reinvent the strategies, and go online. Now, going online, the first thing, when you go online, companies need to focus on their personal branding. Personal branding would help increase your social visibility, be it Instagram, be it LinkedIn. And as brands, you need to create content. Creating content can be in the form of writing a post. For example, I'm a fashion brand. So the fashion brand doesn't need to always sell, we have this dress, please buy it, or if this is for a certain amount, please buy it. How about you use an alternate approach? So you say that nowadays, let's start, there's a trend, and let's just say that you give them styling tips instead of saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably say this is a stole we're selling, and then you say that stoles are in trend, and you can say we also offer this recommendation. So probably that to the consumer, it's like, okay, this and this is how this thing is helping me. So probably the consumer can look at that stole, and it's like, okay, this, and how different ways of styling a stole or a cravat, and that might encourage the buyer to buy that thing. Another thing that you can do is, like, many businesses are like homegrown businesses. Or let's just say someone started baking, and the person doesn't want to have a full-fledged website, because building websites is, if you're building a good website and a full-fledged website, that's an expensive business. So why not use the power, leverage the power of Instagram and LinkedIn? Because making an Instagram page does not cost a lot. It in a way, it's free. Of course, you have to pay for the internet and probably your mobile device for clicking pictures.
Yeah.
But how about, I started a homegrown baking business? I have that. I click pictures of what cake I've baked, and I put it on Instagram, and I use the right hashtags, and I use the right strategy, and I ask 2-3 friends to share it. People start liking it, and my brand visibility again starts, and people, they can see, okay, this person's been baking, and if they want to do an order from me, I can just leave my number or probably an email address and they can request an order. So using social media, again, if you can't build a website, use social media. And also when, sometimes the thing is you can do is probably start offering free content, not free content as in offering your product for free, but actually offering free value to your clients. For example, if
Mm-hmm.
you're a digital marketing agency, instead of upselling them that we do digital marketing, okay, here, write a post on hashtags, how to use hashtags the right way. And then probably when someone's reading the post and there's a followership of your page increases. And after the followership of your page increases, why not start and do a small workshop, a 5-day workshop on digital marketing? Again, that helps further helps build a connect with your client. And then, when there's a trust and a further connect build, and this person's like, oh, I know this person offers value, you can probably convert that lead into sales. So that is also a smart way. So, personal branding is going to be a very big thing for 2021.
It is indeed. And in fact, I just recall a conversation I was having with one of my friends. He's in IT and he's into development. And he was telling me that you are very active on LinkedIn and I see you quite often. And I said, then why are you not so active on LinkedIn? So he said that, I don't need it. I'm in job, so I don't need to, what would I do? I am not selling anything. I said, this is the biggest confusion which is there. Personal branding, people don't understand, the clarity of it, the importance of it. Even a guy who is working in a corporate job need to have a right presence there, need to have sharing the right thought process which they have, because that will build their brand. And brand is not about selling everything, it is about your existence as well. How do people see you? How do people identify you? And tomorrow when you will go for, and if you're listening and if you're in a job, guys, if tomorrow you go for the next interview, there is a high possibility the interviewer will look in your social media profiles to see what are you up to, what are you doing. And that's so important. So working on the personal brand, I guess, is an important step.
May I add something?
Please, please.
Yes, for example, if I'm an HR recruiter and I see Alok been writing a lot of things, for example, Alok is into sales and Alok has been writing a lot about sales or probably posting a lot on LinkedIn, probably I might be observing Alok's post. And when I see Alok at an interview and I'm like, of course, I do have a preconceived impression about it. And I might not show it in the interview, but it might be like, okay, I know this person and I know this person is good. This person knows his work.
Hmm.
So that might actually add as an added credit to your CV or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That really helps. So, Sejal, this is incredible to know all of these things from you. You're doing a lot at your age. And ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you she's just 19, by the way, those who are not so sure about it. So, Sejal, what are you doing now? How are you helping this world, this planet where you live? What are you doing for others?
So every day, there's one promise that I've made to myself. Every day, I will be providing content on LinkedIn. So I write about entrepreneurship, I write about motivation, I write about finance, I write about leadership and strategizing. The thing I've realized is if I have attended a lot of business seminars, I have attended a lot of workshops on entrepreneurship. So why not, whatever knowledge I've collected, why not share it with my viewers on LinkedIn? Why not share it with people across? I write on LinkedIn, I write on Medium. I occasionally do lives like these, again sharing the value that
Okay.
I've done. That is one. The second thing I had been doing during the lockdown was I was working with this NGO called Prasanth Chetas Foundation. So where we were holding webinars on mental health, we were holding webinars on body image positivity, and I personally
Okay.
shared my story of me facing bullying, because at one point of time I suffer from this illness called polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I had a lot of acne on my skin, and there's a lot of
Okay.
acne shaping that goes around. So I shared my story with people around, and probably sometimes some people might laugh at my story, but some people who might be going through the same thing that I've been through can actually relate with it and actually gather strength from it. Because I remember at one point of time when I had a lot of scars on my face. Now, of course, with dermatologists, we've got everything done, and everything
Mhm.
with time, scars go away. But at one point of time, I used to get bullied for it. I used to feel really bad about it. Even if I had a lot of friends at school, people still make fun of you. So probably sharing my story with people, and even sharing my story in this manner, can probably help them relate or inspire. Because many times, if as a teenager, I am very lucky that my family is supportive, but not everybody gets that kind of support. And when you try
Yes.
to do extracurriculars, you're told, "नहीं, please अपने tuitions के लिए जाओ, नहीं आपने focus on your studies." Of course, focusing on studies is
Yeah.
paramount, but sometimes we many parents tell their children to not get into extracurriculars, to not probably try an unconventional path. They ask their children to go safe, and so the thing is, probably if somebody listens to my story and they're like, okay, she's 19 years old, she's been trying doing this, why not I doing this? So that can be another thing how I've been trying to help. Of course, you can never I fully completely help people, because every effort is each and every effort of mine is a drop into the sea. But I think every day when I'm writing those posts, and if someone can relate and it can help motivate someone, and it can help someone probably give a new perspective, a fresh perspective when they're going through a mental block, or probably they're just feeling
Mm.
very sad, those motivational posts or something, I hope it helps them. So probably that's how I'm doing my small bit to help people.
And it is such a noble thing to do, Sejal, because you just don't realize when your actions, because there are two kind of people, one who show up, one who do not show up, right? And a lot of them who don't, those who don't show up on media and different places which are available may need help, and they may never ask and tell. So how would they do it? Because they are following us, following you, and they may taking inspiration from what you are doing. So it's a very valid thing. And I must tell you, you were talking about acne. I had a phase in my life when I felt that I would never get rid of them. So I had a long patch of my life when my face was like full of acne, and I have completely relate to what you were saying. You know, that feeling of indifference, the feeling which happens when you're surrounded by something like this. But yes, it needs strength to fight, and it needs people like us who can go and tell that does not matter, go do what you love to do, and that is what you will use. So same happened with me, Sejal, and you will be very surprised to know, in my school days, I was more about all the extracurricular activities and less about studies. I was like always average or little towards that area. But those extracurricular activities, those speaking opportunities, and those places where I used to do, whatever, theater, stage, and whatever, I'm getting paid for it. I get paid for speaking. And those extracurricular activities has added to my portfolio, so it's always building upwards. So great, thank you so much for finding time, Sejal. It was lovely talking to you. We are little over our time, like by 3 minutes, but we are still good. So we will be bringing it to a close. Any last comment which you want to make before we finish?
The thing is, many people just follow the conventional path. But again, extracurriculars. So extracurriculars is what differentiates you, right? Everybody, for studies is important. Everybody goes to a classroom. Everybody studies. But what different you do? What out? Probably theater even. So those things help you become a well-rounded individual. They help build your character in a way, because when you're
Yes.
learning new things, when you interact with people, you learn a new thing every day. When you try something new, you evolve. When you push yourself out of your comfort zone. So of course, extracurriculars do help a lot.
Wow,
And
fantastic. Yes, please speak.
again, the reason I shared my story of my acne and me being bullied is that some people might laugh and they're like, okay, yeah. But the thing is, if we don't start conversations about these topics, and we do not normalize probably these kind of things, a lot of people struggle with a lot of things. And how about if we normalize these kind of things in conversations? It will give them support, and it will normalize that, okay, this is teenage and you do get acne, and eventually do get rid with it of it. So probably having these
Yep.
conversations, again, having conversations about entrepreneurship is very important, because a lot of people say that we do not find jobs. But what if we try to create more job creators instead of job seekers? Because
Absolutely.
if everyone becomes a job seeker, there's already a scarcity of jobs. There's not going to be enough jobs. So why not help people learn entrepreneurship? And why not try something new? Why not probably get out of your comfort zone and say that I would like to start something new, I would like to try something new? And even if you fail, you learn stuff.
Yes, you do. Great sharing. Thank you so much, Sejal, for your time. Thanks a lot, listeners. And stay tuned to the channel of the Circle of Legends, because every day we are doing one or two lives with someone, and we are here to